The House Oversight Committee has released another batch of photos from the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The 19 images released today are just some of the 95,000 photos turned over to the House Oversight Committee last night. Several people who have already been linked to Epstein are pictured, including President Trump, former President Clinton, former Prince Andrew, and director Woody Allen. None of those pictured are accused of any crime. Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the committee, said earlier that it's time for the Epstein files to be released.
There is one man who has the power to release the files and get to the truth and bring justice to the survivors, and that's Donald Trump. There is a White House cover-up happening right now in not releasing these files that needs to end.
CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins us now from Washington. Jake, Democrats say they're still combing through the pictures and will release them to the public in the days and weeks ahead. What more are we learning about these estate photos?
Well, not much, Lindsay. Actually, we're learning more from what Republicans in the White House are saying, which is that there are 95,000 other pictures that were not released. Today, these 19 pictures that were released show some of them were previously published by news outlets, including Getty, images that have been around for some time. But you can see this White House statement, which says that House Democrats are selectively releasing cherry-picked photos. And in that statement, a White House spokeswoman says that President Trump has done more for survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell than any previous presidential administration. At the same time, we know that this is a move by House Democrats to force this conversation to come up again and remind the public ahead of next week's deadline with the Department of Justice to release some files that President Trump has been tied to these powerful men, including Jeffrey Epstein. There are a number of other powerful people, Steve Bannon among them, who have been seen in these pictures with Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, and to force this conversation to continue and to remind the American public, as we heard earlier this week from other House Democrats who wanted the Justice Department Inspector General to take a review of all these files before the release, that they don't trust what the Trump administration could be putting out. And we need to see what other images or potential documents could come out from the Epstein estate, which delivered these specific photos today to the House committee, which then released only 19 of them.
Okay, you mentioned the deadline. What can we expect?
Well, what we're going to see, Lindsay, is a trove of information. It's not just these grand jury transcripts, which have been the center of a number of Justice Department motions going back to the summer. We're talking investigative files, witness statements, and more documents than likely what we've ever seen before, Lindsay. The big question is how many documents are there? How clear and transparent is the Trump administration and Justice Department about which comes from which investigation? As we know, there's 3. And at the same time, Lindsay, whether anything is actually new and valuable to the American public, or does this new document tranche dump that we're expecting to see next week actually bring more questions up about what the Department of Justice may have hid and not released?
Jake